Hey everyone, Chakras from Lolking here. Long time no see. Today we are taking a look at some picks that have been showing up in competitive, either because they are showing up outside of their most popular role, or simply because it's just an unusual pick. Let's start with the support role. Recently, it has been dominated by ranged supports, including mages. In competitive and even in solo queue, the most recent addition has been Malzahar. Now, the move from mid lane to support role is actually due to two factors. First off, and most importantly, the changes to his W, Void Swarm, on patch 6.23. The changes hurt mid lane Malzahar, as part of his pushing power came from the Voidlings multiplying themselves after killing minions. However, the charge system benefits him greatly when he's not using it to push waves, which is in the support role. Void Swarm is fantastic in trades as they now multiply faster, and as an additional bonus, you can use Voidlings to block incoming skill shots such as Thresh's Death Sentence. Secondly, the changes to Rylai's Crystal Scepter didn't really affect him. While stats are lower and the slow was nerfed for some spells, Malefic Visions only gave him a 20% slow anyways, and the item being 600 gold cheaper makes it much more attractive for a support. As a pick, Malzahar brings a lot of damage to the table, similarly to Zyra or Brand support. However, he's more durable than these two picks because of his passive, Void Shift. While he might have less damage in later stages of the game than those two picks, mainly because his damage is mostly single target, he has a very strong and reliable lockdown with his suppression that can only be cancelled with a Quicksilver Sash. We covered this more extensively in an article and interviewed a challenger support player who gave us some more synergies and counters, annotation on the screen and link in the description. Showing up frequently in the support role is also Misfortune. She initially showed up when the Rox Tigers used it in their semi-final match against SK Telecom, surprising the world with their destructive Ashe plus MF lane. Since then, it has been the go-to counter to Zyra support. Left tap makes short work of Zyra's plans, and Make It Rain provides a lot of ranged poke. Outside of lane, Bullet Time is still a devastating ultimate even without proper itemization to back it up. Once Misfortune finishes Black Cleaver, it becomes an armor-shredding death machine. The reason why we have been seeing it is still largely because it's such a good pick into Zyra, but it is also useful against Malzahar support. The logic is similar to the Zyra matchup. Love Tap allows Misfortune to kill Voidlings in two basic attacks, and Make It Rain can proc Void Shift from afar, leaving Malzahar vulnerable to crowd control and damage. Finally, up in the top lane, you might have noticed that Singed has been showing up here and there. Singed lanes relatively well against tanks and gets to scale freely when playing against the likes of Maokai and Poppy. They simply don't have enough damage to kill him, so he gets a free pass against these champions. Then there's his build. You might have noticed Singed players stacking multiple Dark Seals. The reason behind this is simple. Singed is a champion who is very dependent on his health and mana sustain. Without mana, he can't constantly use Poison Trail to clear waves, and since he has a very weak and non-interactive laning phase, he needs health sustain to be able to survive incoming damage from his opponents while he's walking around killing minions with poison. Dark Seal is an item that gives Singed every stat he wants, and the only unique aspect of the item is the AP stacking with kills and assists. The 25% increase on healing from potions stacks, so Singed can get more out of Corrupting Potion. Each charge of Corrupting Potion grants 125 health, but with 3 Dark Seals for example, each charge will give 219 health instead. Other than that, the ability power from Dark Seal boosts his wave clear with Poison Trail, the mana is naturally very important so he can use Poison Trail for longer, and with his passive he actually gains 25 health for each Dark Seal he purchases. Later into the game, and as you gain enough gold to purchase your other items, you will be selling your Dark Seals progressively. But you don't lose that much from doing so. Dark Seal has a pretty high sell price at 245 gold, so you only end up losing 315 gold that you invested in those early purchases. From there, Singed usually invests into tank items that grant extra mobility and tankiness. Righteous Glory and Deadman's Plate are frequent purchases that allow him to run at the back line to attempt to displace them so his team can follow and clean up. That's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it by leaving a comment below. If you like this style of video, let us know and we'll cover more champions in another episode.